Okay, this is a quick video, unboxing video for the Weber 1200 Q or Q1200. I got this from my local garden centre who price matched Wow Barbecue online. They normally don't do it, but for the sake of 20 quid and making a sale today, they decided to match it, so it just goes to show you it's always worth asking. It's very well packaged. Interestingly, it says up here to only use it in the UK. It's only certified for use in the United Kingdom. And directly below it, it says the exact same thing about Ireland. So in Ireland, I guess I can only use it in Ireland, and in the UK, I can only use it in the UK. Strange, but true. What I would do in France, who knows? So we can see limited 5-year warranty. This is the version with the stands, and I'm going to be using this in the motorhome. I was originally thinking not to use the stands, but you'll see why I decided to go with the stand version in the end. The newer model has the lid thermometer, different ignition system. Rather than click click, it's like a continuous, you can hear it firing, so to speak. It's got a little nice fancy Weber plastic thing for the front legs, which I will not use, mainly for convenience. So let's unbox and see where we go from there. So I've already opened the lid and just literally had a quick look inside. And you can see here, it's very sturdily packaged. I'd expect nothing less from Weber. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm not even sure I am. Could be Weber, but I'm going to call it Weber as if it's got 2 B's. So I'm just going to move it over this way a little bit. So this is the bit that the legs will go into, and it actually stands on in the end. There's a pair of the legs of the portable barbecue will slip into these 2 notches, and then there's an arm on each of these to lock in the other arms. This is that plastic roll thing for in front of the legs, which, as I say, I won't be using. And then you can just lift out the whole thing. Place that on the ground for a moment. And then literally just the 4 legs, like blunt samurai sword sheaths. And then the grid's in the bottom. Okay, let's leave the grid till last. And we'll pop this up here. Okay. So that's one of the legs. And I'm hoping you'll be able to see this. But each leg has got like one of these spring poppers, like on a set of crutches. And all 4 of those go into base. So this is the base. And literally you just, that's it. It is that simple. So it'd be very convenient in a motorhome. Apologies, but that's my border collies alerting me to a pigeon for some reason. And that's it. I don't have the most even patio, but then most campsite grounds and areas are not the most even either. But that is literally it. There's two little clips to go in here to hold the main body into the actual stand, and you've got some little hooks for your tools. But let's have a look at the main barbecue now. So first thing I would say, when you're unboxing this, be careful, because the top lid, I just noticed, is got all the plastic cover on it, and it's actually completely loose. So don't remove it thinking it'll hinge up. It won't. You'll end up dropping it. And obviously the handles need to be fitted, as does the thermometer that comes with this model. The Q1000 does not come with the a thermometer. So let's just put this somewhere where I'm not going to drop it. The other thing about the Q1200 is it has these little, what would you call it? Flaps, plate holders, somewhere to put stuff on. Reasonably sturdy, not that you would stand on it or anything stupid. And obviously being plastic, don't put anything too hot on it. This is the fat catcher, or maybe more appropriately, or more PC, the drip catcher, which slides underneath to catch anything coming out the drainage hole in the bottom. Got a couple of clips. These are the clips that go on the legs to hold the little fancy plastic Weber banner on it, but also the two clips to go on here to hold these legs into the stand. So these I'm not going to use. And go back in the bag, back in the box. These obviously will get used because they need to go onto that. And then this is the drip tray catcher with a nice little foil Weber, which I guess are disposable, rather than having to rewash this all the time. Don't know how much this would be to replace the proper size, but you don't have to use it, I'm sure. Full instructions, as you would expect. Now we're coming to the little bits to put together. I'll just show you the burner. So it's one large stainless steel gas burner, and the control is an infinite control, so it's not like settings. You literally set it where you want it to be. And then obviously you have your cast iron grates on top. This will be the hole. I need to remove this cardboard packaging, but this is the hole where the drip tray would go underneath, so everything would run into this. Some people put tin foil on the inside of these to keep this cleaner. I'm not convinced about that, to be honest, but time will tell. So we've got the handle for the lid, a AAA battery for the piezo lighter, a knob for the infinite control gas that goes on the side, thermometer, just a wing nut on the inside of the lid, that's very easy fitted. and then the fittings for on the back here for the hinge for the actual lid itself. So they just are literally two little spring pull clips that are easily pulled out. Take these out and you can take the lid off. So very, very simple to fit. Very convenient for those motorhomes with quite a narrow door, because you'll see the height of this will be up to about here. So if you have a narrower storage in your motorhome or caravan or camper van, take the lid off, fold everything up, take the lid off with the little clips, put this in, then put the lid in separately, and then store it whatever way is the most convenient for you. So we'll just put on the lid because I don't like it lying about loose. You take one of the pins, line it up, and then just one of the little oar clips and push it in. You can see this. You take the pin, put it through both holes, take your little oar spring clip, pop it in. Very easy, very simple and effective. And that's the lid on. Fitting of the thermometer should be just as easy. So again, this is the thermometer with a wing nut, and I'm presuming no washer. Okay. So it's just a case of, let's have a look. So I'm hoping you can see there's a little notch here, and there's a little notch on the actual thermometer. So it makes it fairly obvious which way is up, but you would have thought that makes it obvious which way is up. Hold it in. Wing nut on. And do it good hand tight. Don't use a wrench. Just do it well hand tight, and then just check it every so often, obviously when it's cold, just to make sure it's not loose. Simple. Right. Wow. So the grids are actually pretty heavy. These are cast iron, and I believe they are porcelain coated, and they split in two, so don't be, when you're unpacking these, be very careful. This is two halves. You might think it's all one big grid, but actually it's split in two halves so that the grids fit in standard sinks quite easily. That obviously, the standard sink is very different in motorhomes than it is to your home and your camper vans, so your mileage might vary. So let's just open them up. Carefully, so don't end up dropping anything. Again, very good packaging. Okay, so this is the top part. You can see nice griddle, quite a lot of good thick steel to help with the heat throughout the grids. Obviously this is the bottom of it. So that's one half. Let's just get they really are heavy. Let's just make sure we responsibly get rid of our packaging. Let's just look at fitting them. So they'll go either side, but obviously ribbed side up. That's one half. You can see there's an indent in the sides, so your finger can grab and pull and pick it up, obviously when it's cold. So this is quite a good reasonable size. I'll put in the description, or you may now get a little text across the screen saying what the rough dimensions are. But if I'm looking at this and I'm saying, you know, my fist is the size of a burger, then comfortably you get what, one, not very good angle for you. So if that's a burger, roughly, then two, you know, you're going to get 8 to 10 burgers on there easily. You probably get 8 burgers, 8 sausages. So this is only for me and the wife. This is more than adequate and big enough. You can get, apparently, you can replace this griddle with a pan type griddle, you know, like a solid plate. I think it's about £54, I believe. So I've just spent £324, I think, and 99 pence on this. So I think I've spent enough for now. So that's the griddle plate. Lovely. Handle. Well, the handle obviously goes here on the front, doesn't it? That is not rocket science, says Paul. Interestingly, there appears to be... So there's 2 screws, but there's this little... Obviously goes on the inside. It doesn't feel like normal plasticky type material, so I'm assuming it's some sort of heat resistant stone, which would make sense because it'll be on the inside of the handle. That should be very easy fitted now. So when you take it apart, you've actually got a little notch that goes in, a step that goes in, and the screw. So it doesn't appear to be one inside though. Okay, so I just wanted to double check the instructions here, because looking at the handle for the outside, it's got like a, I don't know what this is, some sort of stone or heat proof type enamel. And I was saying that actually it looks like that goes inside the barbecue because it'll be heat proof and then the handle be outside. But having typical man, I haven't read the instructions, so I've just got them out, and actually this does go on the outside as well. So it's obviously heat proof here on the outside to dissipate the heat before the heat gets to the handle, if that makes sense. So it does all go on the outside. So now I'm glad I checked that, because I could imagine that people would be slightly confused, because I was, because on the inside there wasn't a step for this, because I thought there would be, but there isn't. And obviously the Q goes this way up, because I was looking at that thinking, oh, I don't know, is it that way? Is it that way? I don't think the handle actually cares, but it's that way. If I'm going to do a job, do it right. So that's the handle on, nice and secure. So I think the next thing is to actually put it on its proper stand. But before we do that, these pegs need fit into the stand, so we can secure the bottom legs of the barbecue on. So let's just have a quick look at that. So it's not terribly exciting. It's literally each one of these holes. Just line it up, push it all the way in. It goes in with a good click, and they turn. See? That's in the off position completely, so to speak. And keep it out of the way. And now what we'll do is we'll put the actual barbecue on its proper stand. So let's just show you how we do that. So I'm hoping you can see this. There's a notch here and here, so the legs will slide into it, and then the rear legs will be sat there, and then that will go over the leg to snap over it and stop it falling out of the stand. So you just pick it up by the handles, line up the legs in the notch. The back legs should just fall into space or place here, and then just do that. Same on the other side. And now if I try to lift up the barbecue by the handles, the whole legs should come with it, which they do. Okay, brilliant. I just need to put in my little tray in the bottom, my fat catch tray, drip tray. I'm just having a look now. I'm hoping you'll be able to see where the curves meet, the legs and the bottom. There's a slit here on both sides, and you just literally line it up with your tray, push it in, and I think it'll drop down. Yes. So it just stops it accidentally falling out and, you know, the contents going absolutely everywhere. Whilst we're here, we can see the ignition lighters here. It looks like there's 2 lines here. It's not working at the moment because I need to install a battery, so that'll be the next job. So I guess I should really look at the instructions to find out. It must go in here somewhere. It doesn't appear as if there's an easy way to do it, like a little catch. I might have to get a screwdriver to do that, but that's easy done. Well, reading the instructions is easy done. Alright, so having consulted the oracle that is the instructions, on the actual front, you literally twist and pull. And that's it. Pop your battery in. Positive end first. And line up your button gently. And it's like a rubber. Yeah, and that works. I could hear that. I hope you could. So that's working. Simple. And the last thing really to look at is, what are you going to do about your gas? Actually, while we're here, is our last piece of the puzzle. Our knob for the gas. So it's literally just a case of lining it up and pushing it on. There we go. That's it. Push it in to adjust. And then it's off. Okay. So, regulator. Weber in their wisdom have decided not to make it as easy as using any old gas. So they have a connection on here. I believe it is a common connection. I've forgotten the name of it. I want to say a 1/4 BSP. Left hand thread, I believe. And this is the little regulator that comes with it, with a little screw top, you know, for their canisters. I'm not sure any other canisters fit this. I, like many others, are going to want to use this on my motorhome and connect it to my gas point on the motorhome. My plan is to replace this with a connector that I can use with the motorhome external gas point, rather than what Weber wants you to do is to use they got this little thing for their gas canister, because you're supposed to be able to bring this to the beach and stuff like that. So because of the diameter of the hose, it looks like I can't cut and shut and use a different hose, because it looks like a 6.3 millimeter diameter, whereas most others are 8 millimeter diameter. So I need to get a new fitting for here, remove this fitting, new fitting for here, 8 millimeter hose, which will go to the motorhome, and then I can use it with the motorhome and get rid of this. And that's it.